She ruled a kingdom divided by religion, stood against the greatest empire in the world, and chose to never marry. But was Queen Elizabeth I truly the greatest ruler England ever had? Join me as I dive deep into the life of Queen Elizabeth I and try to uncover who she really was. Queen Elizabeth I, one of history's most iconic figures, remains a subject of endless fascination. Her reign, often called the Golden Age of English history, was marked by cultural, political, and military achievements. But beyond her public image, who was Elizabeth I, really? Elizabeth faced incredible challenges throughout her reign, from political intrigue and religious conflict to the pressure of producing an heir. But her struggles began long before she ever wore the crown. Her father, King Henry VIII, had 6 wives. His first wife, Catherine of Aragon, gave birth to Mary, Elizabeth's older half-sister. His third wife, Jane Seymour, gave birth to Edward, Elizabeth's younger half-brother. Her own mother, Anne Boleyn, gave birth to Elizabeth and was later executed. After that, Elizabeth was declared illegitimate and removed from the line of succession. When Henry died, young Edward became king, a Protestant boy raised by powerful advisors. But his reign didn't last. He died in his teens, and the crown passed to Mary. Queen Mary, a devout Catholic, deeply hated Elizabeth's Protestant beliefs. To her, Elizabeth was a threat and a heretic. Mary had her arrested, imprisoned in the Tower of London, and nearly executed. Elizabeth lived every day not knowing if it would be her last, but fate had other plans. After Mary's death, Elizabeth became queen. She was only 25, and England was unstable. The English Reformation had divided the kingdom, and Elizabeth had to tread carefully. Her solution? A bold one. She re-established the Church of England, placing herself at its head. A move that wasn't just religious, but deeply political. She walked a tightrope of diplomacy to keep England from tearing itself apart. The Catholic world, especially Spain and Rome, saw her as a danger. Many Catholics in England viewed her as illegitimate, unholy, and unfit to rule. Her decision to remain unmarried was another point of tension. With no children, Elizabeth's refusal to marry or name a successor created deep uncertainty. But it wasn't a careless decision. It was a calculated strategy to protect her power in a world ruled by men. Despite the pressure, Elizabeth stood firm, earning the title, the Virgin Queen. The threats she faced weren't just internal. Foreign enemies loomed large. The Spanish Armada, sent by Philip II of Spain, posed a serious danger to England. Elizabeth's leadership during this crisis showed her brilliance and her ability to rally her people. The defeat of the Armada didn't just protect England. It confirmed her place as a strong and capable ruler. Elizabeth's early life was filled with pain and uncertainty. Born to King Henry VIII and Anne Boleyn, her future was never guaranteed. After her mother's execution and Edward's mysterious death, Elizabeth rose as heir presumptive. Her sharp mind and excellent education prepared her well, and in 1558 she claimed the throne. Once in power, Elizabeth worked to stabilize the nation. She promoted trade, strengthened the economy, and embraced the arts. The English Renaissance reached new heights during her reign. She admired William Shakespeare and even invited him to perform at her court. She surrounded herself with brilliant minds, poets, scientists, philosophers, and explorers. Her court wasn't just about politics. It was a center of creativity and genius. But behind the crown, Elizabeth carried personal burdens. In 1562, she was struck by smallpox. She survived, but the illness left her face permanently scarred. After that, she became obsessed with her appearance. She wore thick, white makeup made from lead to cover her skin. She wore dramatic gowns, high collars, and striking wigs. It was all part of the image, the legend she carefully created. She also had a weakness for sweets. Sugar was her guilty pleasure, but it ruined her teeth and made smiling painful. Still, she rarely let the world see her discomfort. The defeat of the Spanish Armada in 1588 was a turning point. It wasn't just a military victory, it was a moment of pride. Elizabeth's famous speech to the troops at Tilbury showed her courage and ability to lead. She declared she had the heart and stomach of a king. That moment made her a legend. Her reign shaped England's identity. She became a symbol of national pride, strength, and survival. Her image lasted through centuries, painted, praised, and remembered. Elizabeth's legacy is more than history. She was smart, bold, and fiercely independent. She laid the foundation for modern Britain and inspired generations after her. But even great queens must fall. In her final days, Elizabeth became quiet and withdrawn. She refused to lie down, standing for hours, lost in thought. She died in 1603 at the age of 69 after 44 years on the throne. With no children, the Tudor dynasty ended. Yet her story didn't. Elizabeth I remains one of the most powerful women to ever wear a crown. She left behind a legend, one that still echoes through time. If you have thoughts on Elizabeth I or any historical figure you'd love to explore, drop them in the comments. Don't forget to check out my other videos on powerful people from history, and join me next time as we dive into more untold stories.